Silver just exploded out of a long, boring range, breaking to new all-time highs in the low 70s per ounce. After years grinding sideways, a spike like that shocks people, and a lot of investors are staring at that chart, asking the same thing. Did I just miss the silver train, or is this only the first inning of a much bigger move? Quick reminder, this is not financial advice. Commodities and small caps are very risky, so please do your own research or talk to a licensed professional before investing. So, are we too late to buy silver? To answer that, we need to start with where we actually are in the cycle. Silver has moved fast, but context matters. For most of the past decade, it spent its time in a pretty boring range, bumping around in the high teens and 20s while other assets ripped. Only recently did it finally break out, clear the old 2011 peak, and start behaving like a true momentum asset again. That kind of breakout does two things. It attracts momentum traders who chase anything making new highs, and at the same time it wakes up long-term investors who've been waiting years for silver to finally move. Put those together, and you get exactly what we're seeing now. Big candles, big headlines, and a lot of FOMO. By the way, if you appreciate this kind of calm, data-driven breakdown, instead of hype and screaming thumbnails, take a second right now to like the video and subscribe. It helps the channel reach more serious investors like you. Now, why is silver moving in the first place? There are three big drivers working together. First, silver is still a monetary metal. It tends to wake up when investors are worried about the value of their cash, whether that's because of inflation, aggressive money printing, or just a loss of trust in governments and central banks. When people think their dollars or euros are being diluted, they reach for hard assets. And silver is one of the purest forms of real money left that ordinary people can actually afford. Second, silver is an industrial metal, especially for energy transition and technology. It's critical for solar panels, electronics, EVs, and high-end manufacturing. As the world leans harder into electrification and renewable energy, the structural demand for silver keeps grinding higher in the background, even when the price is sleeping. Third, supply isn't nearly as flexible as people think. A lot of silver is produced as a byproduct of mining other metals, like lead, zinc, and copper. That means you can't simply turn on a bunch of new silver mines just because the price has gone up. Primary silver projects take years to finance, permit, and build. So when demand spikes quickly, price has to do most of the work. Put all that together and the recent surge doesn't look completely crazy. It looks like years of pressure finally releasing. So does that mean it's an easy buy? Not so fast. Let's talk about the risks first, because that's where most people get hurt. Number 1. Silver is brutally volatile. It has a long history of overshooting in both directions. In past bull markets, we've seen huge spikes, followed by 30 to 50% drawdowns inside a larger uptrend. If you're going to play in this space, you have to be emotionally and financially prepared for stomach-churning swings. Number 2. Positioning can get crowded very quickly. When everyone piles into the same trade futures, ETFs, mining stocks, you can get forced liquidations and nasty washouts even if the long-term story is intact. In other words, the narrative can be right and the timing still be very wrong. Number 3. If the macro picture changes faster than expected, say, inflation cools more decisively, or central banks stay tighter for longer than the market thinks, some of the urgency behind precious metals can fade, at least temporarily. The long-term case doesn't vanish, but the short-term air can come out of the balloon fast. With that said, let's flip the question around. If you zoom out beyond the headlines, silver has essentially spent a decade being ignored while other assets, tech stocks, crypto, real estate took the spotlight. Only recently has it started to reprice all of that neglect. From that perspective, this current run could be early in a multi-year cycle rather than late in a short-term trade. So how do you think about too late versus too early? In my view, the answer depends less on the exact price today and more on your time horizon and strategy. If you're trying to nail the perfect short-term entry, after a vertical move, you're probably late. Silver could absolutely pull back 20 or 30% just to shake out tourists before doing anything else. But if your time frame is measured in years, not weeks, the question shifts from "did I miss it?" to "how do I build exposure in a way that respects the risk?" That might mean scaling in slowly instead of all at once, accepting that you will not buy the bottom, and focusing on what role silver plays in your overall portfolio. Inflation hedge, crisis insurance, or a beta speculation through miners. It also means separating the metal from the equities. Physical silver and low-cost ETFs behave very differently from small mining stocks or leveraged plays. Miners can offer huge upside but also carry operational, political, and balance sheet risk on top of price volatility. If you're going down that road, size accordingly and be honest about your risk tolerance. So, are we too late to buy silver? In my opinion, we're late to the quiet phase, but not necessarily late to the entire story. The easy money, the no one cares, super cheap accumulation phases, probably behind us. But the kind of parabolic moves silver has made in past cycles tend to play out over years, not weeks. The real danger isn't that silver has already moved, it's going in blind, chasing green candles without a plan, and then panicking out the first time the market reminds everyone how violent this metal can be. If you treat silver as a long-term high volatility piece of a bigger strategy, build in stages, and respect the downside as much as the upside, you're not too late, you're just arriving at the part of the movie where things finally get interesting. If you found this breakdown helpful, tap like, subscribe to Penny Stock Pulse, and share this video with a friend who's watching silver right now. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you buying, holding, or staying far away? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.